Here, let me check. I'll get on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yep, we are live.
All right.
We're officially live.
Good. All right. Hello everyone. We're doing mailbag, NFL mailbag, going over some news and previewing tomorrow. So we'll be streaming till about 7. So if you have any questions, just type it in the chat. And yeah, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. So before we start, I'd like to talk about one of the most underrated players of of recent times. So, Ryan Tannehill. This is good. I sound like I'm being a homer, but if you look at the stats, it is actually amazing. So, in his last 14 games, compared to Mahomes' last 14 games. So Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, no doubt about it. He's only thrown for 72 more yards than him, and has thrown for less touchdowns, thrown for more interceptions, and for a lower passer rating. So,
Yeah, and I
opinion,
think he had like 30 points last week.
Yeah, something
in fantasy.
Like
Fantasy.
Yeah, he's on a roll right now. I mean, I feel like a dark horse for the MVP, honestly.
Yeah, like honestly, because he basically outplayed Josh Allen, who everyone was talking about was going to be like the MVP by
Josh Allen is right now the runner-up for the MVP, or maybe the third person for the MVP for this game. Right now it's him, I think Rodgers, and then Russell.
And if you think about,
Tannehill beat him.
And if you think about it, the Titans' defense compared to the Bills' defense is insanely different. Yeah.
Embarrassingly different. Like the Titans' defense was once amazing, like 2 years ago was amazing, but it's just fallen off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And yeah, he's been doing great currently. Who else do you have?
Just that Mahomes is honestly currently spoiled with the amount of offensive talent he has around him. I mean, he got Tyreek, who's a boss. He got Mecole Hardman, who's already good. He got Sammy Watkins, who's amazing.
All three of those could be first, like number one wide receivers on any other team.
And then he got Travis Kelce, who's arguably the best tight end in the league.
Yeah.
Well, not arguably right now, but arguably the best tight end in the league. He got Le'Veon Bell now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's been doing outstanding.
That is a 1-2 punch.
I know. He's got so much talent.
Just use one of them as a wide receiver.
I know.
At this point. But yeah, so.
And then, not to mention their defense.
Their defense is really good too.
Yeah. So. But the thing that's concerning for the Chiefs right now is the cap space. You can't keep every single one of the players currently forever. And
well, I mean,
it might be good trade, like to get some good draft picks in. But you have to like.
So let's see. They got Mahomes locked. Mahomes is gonna be here for basically the rest of his career. That's without a doubt. He's here for the next 10 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's probably gonna get an extension at some point in this contract. Travis Kelce's locked up for the next 4 years. So they got two of their they got their biggest offensive talent, and then maybe their second biggest offensive talent.
Tyreek Hill has to stay too.
Yeah.
And then I'd say also on defense. 1 second. You could also keep it's loading.
But yeah, so Mecole's on his rookie contract, so they got him for the next couple of years. Sammy Watkins should be here for the next couple of years because he just similarly signed a contract. It's really Tyreek that's the problem because Le'Veon Bell, he might be here next year, he might not. But let's hear they're two of their biggest players are on their rookie contracts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Also, what do you think about the Le'Veon Bell pickup?
I like this for them. I feel like it's might have been a bad idea, just because it's cap space that they don't really have.
Yeah.
So
the problem with the Jets, he joined the worst team in the NFL, and their offensive line is trash, and their quarterback is really bad too. So like,
here's what the Jets need to do, in my opinion. So at the end of the season, they're getting the number 1 overall pick, or if they don't get the number 1 overall pick, they're getting the number 2 pick. Fire their head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Done. Hire Dan Quinn as their defensive coordinator. Hire Arthur Smith as their head coach. It pains me to say this as a Titans fan, but hire their head coach. But because he's coaching one of the best offenses in the league. So yeah. Then
Chris Jones is the other guy.
Jones, yeah, that's what I was forgetting. So yeah, so once you've done that, fire. Did I ever say Dan Quinn? I feel like I did.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So fire him as your defensive coordinator. Hire him as your defensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator, maybe honestly Bill O'Brien, because he's not a bad defensive coordinator. He's not a bad offensive coordinator. He's just a bad head coach.
Yeah, if you just keep him away from like
the DM slot.
Yeah, just trading players but the problem is like he gets in fights with everyone.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, hire like a maybe honestly like actually maybe I don't know, just like hire a young good offensive coordinator for it. Maybe honestly do what the Titans did, like hire like somebody from within. So yeah, and then once you've done that, draft Trevor Lawrence number 1.
Yeah, it's kind of like Joe Burrow situation.
Not even a Joe Burrow situation. Like, actually, I feel like he's gonna be better than Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
yeah. I see your point, but like
for sure, I just think
he's a lock to be. He's a lock to be a great. I feel like he's one of the most sure picks in the last couple of years. Just because he's has such pure talent.
Other than Joe Burrow.
Even Joe Burrow though, like because Joe Burrow was kind of a 1-year wonder.
Oh yeah, true.
This guy's been the best quarterback. Well, one of the best quarterbacks in college football for like the last 3 years, basically.
Yeah, so, true.
Do that.
But I also saw some. I also
build
saw
up your
some.
Offense.
Yeah.
Trade. Liquidize your offense, basically. Keep certain players on your offensive line because I feel like your offensive line has talent. But liquidize your offense for picks. Do the Miami method. So. Then, rebuild for the next 4 years. Don't keep Darnold for the next year. Don't start Lawrence year 1.
Well, if I'm the Jets, I'd start him week 1.
No,
don't. But that's just me.
That's honestly the biggest mistake that the Jets could make. So because I feel like if the Jets start him, their offensive line is so bad right now. They're not going to be able to rebuild that in one off season. They need maybe even giving them a Mahomes treatment.
Yeah. So, but didn't you say that you think that what's his name? Joe Burrow? Didn't you say that Trevor Lawrence is way better than Joe Burrow? I'd say if that's the case, then start Trevor Lawrence week 1 because obviously Sam Darnold's not going to do anything good for your team. I just see how he does. Maybe go through camp and just do a quarterback competition, obviously, and see who's doing better. But if you think that Trevor Lawrence is better than Joe Burrow, I'd start him.
The reason why I'm saying that they shouldn't start Trevor week 1, the Jets' offensive line is so bad that I feel like it could ruin him. That I feel like is the main reason why Mariota didn't succeed in Tennessee. Most of his years, he did not have a good offensive line. Not once. Except for the last year. I feel like there was a main reason because he had to scramble too much and he got injured. Injuries, the offensive line is just too bad for Trevor Lawrence to start day 1. So
Yeah.
here's what you do. So you keep Darnold. Maybe even you don't keep Darnold. Just get a good quarterback. Like if Fitzpatrick's in the free agency, pick up him. That's the perfect quarterback for this.
Oh, what'd you say?
Ryan Fitzpatrick,
Oh, yeah.
who honestly I believe should be in the Hall of Fame. That is honestly my pick. That is honestly an underrated pick for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So he was. Let me just go on a little tangent here. So he was picked 4 picks from the last draft, 4 picks from the bottom of the draft, and he's had a 15-year career where he's led his own team in rushing. He led his own team in rushing last year. Granted, the Dolphins are trash. Well, were trash. But he led their team in rushing when he wasn't even the full-time starter. I mean, you can knock that he's too much of a journeyman, but I mean, he's been a good quarterback. Well, good-ish quarterback. So I think he should be in the Hall of Fame, honestly. He's just, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's off topic. But
Who?
Yeah, pick up Fitzpatrick, sign him to a 1-year deal, or what I actually want to happen is the Patriots to sign Ryan Fitzpatrick. Because if the Patriots do that, then Ryan Fitzpatrick has completed the sweep. He has signed with every team in the AFC East.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was with the Jets.
I know the Titans.
Titans were in the AFC East.
Oh.
But yeah, he signed with the Jets. He signed with the Bills. He signed with the
Dolphins.
The Dolphins, obviously, but
Yeah.
and then if he signs with the Patriots, he's a complete sweep.
Yeah.
You talk about Brady having a long career. This guy's 35.
I know. He's
He's one of the older quarterbacks in the league,
and
yet
I know
everybody thinks that he's like super young because he's always on a different team.
yeah. I know this is such a random question, but if you had to pick one player to go in the Hall of Fame, would it be Patrick Mahomes,
Ooh,
Lamar Jackson, or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady, no doubt. Tom Brady, easiest pick of all time. Tom Brady's a lock for the Hall of Fame. You could say that all you want about Mahomes and Lamar. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. Arguably the greatest player of all time. I don't think he is. I think he's probably he's in the top 10 for greatest player of all time.
So far.
So far, yeah. But he is no quarterback in NFL history has won. He's won as many Super Bowls as the Steelers, one of the most successful NFL teams in history. He's won the same amount of Super Bowls as them. He's had 9 Super Bowl appearances. 6 of them were wins. You cannot tell me, you cannot give me an argument that tells me why Brady shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame first ballot and not ahead of one of those other two.
Yeah. I don't know why I asked that. What about Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson? Probably. You're going to say Patrick, I think.
Yeah, Patrick. Just because Lamar's had one amazing season. Granted, he's only been in the league for 3 years. But he's had one amazing season. if he keeps up on the streak that he's on right now, he's going to be an easy Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But the thing is with his type of quarterback, the second that they figure out how to stop him, it's going to be he either has to adapt, like become a good passing quarterback, or he's going to be a bust. If one of your seasons went to the Hall of Fame, he'd be in the Hall of Fame first ballot. But that's not how you get in. You have to be good over a whole career.
Yeah.
Whereas Patrick Mahomes, let's see here, he's 24. He's been in the league for 3 years. Well, 4 this year, but he's signed the biggest contract in all of sports history. He's won MVP, thrown for 50 touchdowns, passed for 5,000 yards in one season, and won league MVP. That is something that some Hall of Fame quarterbacks he's arguably had one of the best single seasons of all time. He's had one of the best careers of all time so far. I mean, some quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame have never won a Super Bowl. Dan Marino, he was a lock for the Hall of Fame, but he never won a Super Bowl. He's done better in Super Bowls than Dan Marino, and he's not even 25 yet.
Yeah. So, as we know, the Titans had cases of COVID-19 in their locker room, but around the same time, the Patriots did too, and it seems like they're not able to control it right now because I'd say their best running back currently was just placed on the COVID-19 list. Sony Michel. Not that he does that much for the team, but I'd say he's a pretty big part of it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do. Would you say we're a quarter of the way through the season so far?
A bit more than a quarter, yeah.
Let's do so far reactions to the rookies. Who do you think?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire is my Rookie of the Year pick.
Now that Le'Veon Bell is on the team, we'll see how that affects how it affects him. But
it's not so much like the skill of like how well he's done, but his main competitor really is. Let's look at this. So let's go with Offensive Rookie of the Year because Defensive Rookie of the Year is kind of a bit more tricky this year. But let's look. So quarterbacks. Let's look at first round quarterbacks. We got Burrow, Herbert, Tua. Tua hasn't started a game yet. Hasn't played in a game yet.
Not one snap.
Nope. Burrow, I'd say the best quarterback this year, rookie quarterback this year so far, has been Herbert.
Yeah.
So, and then the best running back was Helaire easily. The best wide receivers, I guess CeeDee Lamb, honestly. Chase Claypool's been pretty good last couple weeks.
Claypool.
Yeah, Chase Claypool. And the only thing with Claypool is I worry he won't be able to repeat it.
Yeah.
So, but I'd say it's CeeDee Lamb or Chase Claypool for wide receiver, and then tight end and offensive line really have no chance of winning it. And I think offensive line has basically no chance of winning it, and tight ends have to have a crazy season.
And honestly, I don't even know if that tight end that was drafted to the Bears that played for Notre Dame, I don't even think he's a starter. I mean, I know he's a starter. I don't think he's first tight end because the Bears just have so many tight ends.
But yeah, so, and then I feel like if you go quarterback, running back versus wide receiver is going to eliminate because, Chase Claypool's amazing. Well, was amazing last game, but I just worry he won't be able to repeat. And then, CeeDee Lamb's just been consistent, but I feel with Dak out, his production is going to drastically decrease. Just because Andy Dalton won't throw as much, which is good for my fantasy team because I have Zeke on my fantasy team. Yeah. And then, let's see. And then we got, that means this is basically Clyde Edwards-Helaire versus Herbert right now. I'd say Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Personally. But I could see Herbert getting mentioned. But yeah, I think it's going to be a toss-up between Edwards-Helaire, Burrow, and Herbert. Maybe CeeDee Lamb. And then if Chase Claypool can repeat, I feel like it's going to be a freeway race between CeeDee Lamb, Chase Claypool, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Justin Herbert.
What about? I'd say running backs. It's obviously down to Clyde Edwards-Helaire and James Robinson. Now, no one was expecting James Robinson to. I didn't even think who James Robinson was because he was an undrafted free agent. And yeah, I think James Robinson is a pretty high contender. But I think running back has to win this year. They have to. And in my opinion. And
yeah, the only problem with him is he just plays for like a really bad team. And bad team, unless you're a quarterback and like you really increase the team's production, just bad teams don't get that much appreciation. Also, he's a running back on a bad team, and bad teams get behind a lot, which means that they throw more. So I just worry about like how much production he's gonna get. So, but yeah, I can see your point. I just worry about his production a bit.
I looked up NFL Rookie of the Year 2020 predictions, and it looks like Justin Herbert has a plus 125. So he looks like and here's the rankings: Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and CeeDee Lamb. And what do you think for comeback player of the year?
Ooh, comeback player of the year. Alex Smith. I mean, the fact that he actually played multiple snaps in an NFL game, he deserves a comeback player of the year.
Yeah,
that might have been the worst. That might have been the worst injury since Joe Theismann.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Don't know if anybody who's listening to this knows who that was, but that was a career ender. And Alex Smith actually almost died because of this injury. When he was having surgery, he had multiple infections. So the fact that he's actually suiting up for another game, he deserves comeback player of the year.
I could see Alex Smith, and I could also see Cam Newton.
Yeah, I could see Cam Newton, but I just feel like the fact that that Alex Smith. I feel like it's gonna be a toss up between those two. But I just feel like the fact that he actually is like just how gruesome of an injury it was, and the fact that everybody thought it was a career ender.
Here's my top 10 list. Number 10, Trent Williams. The tackle for the 49ers. Yeah, Todd Gurley.
Yeah, I just feel like he hasn't had that great of a season so far, so.
Baker Mayfield, 8.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Darren James, 7th. Nick Foles, 6th.
I can see that.
JJ Watt, 4 or 5. AJ Green, 4.
Yep.
I could see Matthew Stafford if he starts playing a little better.
Yep.
Alex Smith, 2. No. Number 3, I have Cam Newton. Then I have Alex Smith, and for my number 1, I have Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger higher than Alex Smith?
I mean, if you think about it, he's led their team to being 5-0. Alex Smith, but I don't know. I think it could be Alex Smith. So this will wrap up today's live stream. Hope you guys liked it.
Yep.
We should be doing a few
Yeah, we're
more
trying to do
live
some more.
streams.
Yeah, we're trying to put out a couple more videos and a couple more live streams now.
Yeah, tomorrow is week 6. Hope everyone will watch that, and it should be exciting. So,
Yep, should be exciting.
all right, thank you guys for watching.